How can a lead singer of the biggest band in the world end up taking his own life?
Who cares if one more light goes out?
That's what depression's like.
With more than 2 billion views on his songs, Chester Bennington was the heart and soul of the rock world. Awards after awards.
The award goes to Linkin Park.
We would like to thank all of our fans because they are the reason why we are here and why we are so successful. And they're the only ones that matter, so thank you guys very much.
Being certified diamond by the Record Association of America.
It's a tough crowd to be involved with right there, so.
Yeah, but definitely we're fans of those two groups.
We also like to thank all of the fans out there for giving us the opportunity to do what we do, and without you guys, we wouldn't have one of these, so thank you very much.
And with 32 million copies sold on their first album, Linkin Park ruled the top 3 spots on the Billboard. There was not a single moment where you or anyone could find out what was going on in Chester's mind.
He was at his best before he passed. We were on a family vacation, and he just had to go back home to do a television commercial, and I was going to see him the next day. It was just the timing of it.
That he was not happy or satisfied with his life.
I don't say nice things to myself. Like, there's another Chester in there that's like, wants to take me down.
Even Jay-Z felt jealous of his talent. And whoever listens to his voice can't believe what just happened. But then,
911, what's your emergency?
His housekeeper came out and said that he unfortunately killed himself.
Everything happened at a time I can't stress enough, and we thought everything was okay.
So what actually happened to the most talented singer of the rock world? Why did one of his band members make an Illuminati sign? And why, after 2 months of writing this letter to his dead friend on Instagram, he committed suicide on his friend's birthday?
On top of the world, the lead singer of one of the biggest rock bands of all time. It's hard to say like what caused him to be so fucked up, but most people point to
when the world was asleep. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well,
You ever hear about that or see that episode? Was that Friends episode where they have the Fun Bobby?
Yeah,
and the
Fun
second
Bobby.
At the Howard Stern show, Mike Shinoda, one of the leading members of Linkin Park, revealed something disturbing about Chester. He was talking about a character on the 90s Friends show. The character's name was Fun Bobby, who drinks alcohol every day and remains energetic all the time.
Alright, it still works. Okay! Now, before I go, does anybody else need to be picked up?
However, there was also a dark side to him. Whenever Fun Bobby stops drinking, he remains depressed. He doesn't joke and remains quiet all the time. It's like without Fun Bobby holding an alcohol at his hand, you can't recognize who he is.
Ridiculously dull, Bobby.
Because he's not used to living like a sober man, something that was also witnessed in Chester's behavior. He felt so incomplete without alcohol that not only Mike but every other member of the band had to eagerly wait for the day to end.
There was an element of Chester that was very fun sometimes when he was that way, and then usually the next day it'd be like so dark. You just like he's super hungover, he's angry at everybody, yelling at everybody, and you're kind of just like, just let him, let's get through the day.
Now, alcohol addiction is something that has left no one, and its addiction is well known for destroying one of the biggest bands in the world. This is Scott Stapp.
yeah.
The lead singer of the Creed band. which suffered for more than a decade just because of his alcohol addiction. He was even caught singing while being heavily drunk. However, what happened to Chester was something that never happened with Scott. You see, Scott didn't have to go through a disturbing childhood that convinced or forced him to look for escapism. Whereas Chester's childhood was something that rarely happened with any lead singer of the world. A story that even shook Mike to the core.
When I met Chester, I didn't know his stories. As I got to know him, I would find myself oftentimes saying, I've never heard such a crazy upbringing, like such a crazy childhood.
So I was exposed to it really, really young, and there was a lot of things that happened to me as a young person that were really difficult to deal with.
In one of the interviews dating back to 2011, Chester revealed a disturbing incident when he was 7 years old. If I think back to when I was really young, to when I was being molested, to when all these horrible things were going on around me, I shudder. Now imagine the traumatic experience of that time that shook Chester even after he got famous. Born in Phoenix, Arizona, his father was a detective who investigated child sexual abuse cases. Yet he could not identify what was going on in his son's life. At such a young age, Chester was sexually abused by an old male friend, who turned his innocence into crazy violations. Soon he was forced to do things he never wanted, or aware about, and was beaten up whenever he dared to refuse.
I want to be happy, but when I'm in it, I try to get out of it. I don't like being sad. When I'm in it, I want to get out of it.
Now, 1 in 13 boys are sexually abused in the US, and over 1 billion children suffered the same abuse in 2022. But more than the abuse itself, the real damage is the impact on the mental health of the victim.
But this is like a bad neighborhood, you know what I mean? And I should not go walking alone.
Chester's mental health was destroyed to such an extent that he was not only afraid to share this with his parents, but also lost the confidence to do anything at that moment. The situation worsened when at the age of 11, his parents got divorced. So the level of frustration at home and getting abused by a man outside convinced Chester to look for an escapism. He was ready to do anything that could help him get away from reality. And then someone showed him a disturbing path.
That first person offered me, an escape from reality. I kind of took it and I ran with it.
At the age of 11, Chester was consuming every form of to escape reality.
Started using drugs when I was 11. So it was, I definitely wasn't making records at that time.
About he said, then we had smoke to come down, or we had take pills, or I had drank so much that I had shit my pants. It was not pretty. And to take care of his expenses, he used to work at a local Burger King restaurant. But apart from all that was happening in his life, something bigger was building in the background. While consuming, Chester used to listen to California-based band Stone Temple Pilots. He was inspired by the band so much that while working at the Burger King, Chester began testing his voice. This was one of his first performances with a band called Sean Dowdle and his friends, which later separated to become Grey Days. Yes, that's him. Long hair and the voice that we all love. Grey Days was co-founded by Chester with his drummer friend Sean Dowdle. And when Dowdle discovered Chester's ability to fluctuate his voice, he could not believe his eyes.
So first off, he knew how to sing in key. He knew how to fluctuate his voice from verses to choruses. And a lot of singers, at 17 years old, I didn't have a lot of experience, but he just had this ability to go up and down and find the emotive in whatever song he was trying to emulate. We were singing cover songs at the time. We weren't writing yet, but he had the ability to just find his way and capture the emotional intent of everything he was pulling off.
So on one hand, Chester was thanking for helping him bring his confidence back. I started getting some confidence back. The problem was I also found a good way to escape the abuse of my past. Getting high, drinking a lot is a pretty good escape. While on the other hand, his disturbing childhood turned out to be an inspiration behind his music.
When I'm not working on that, like, my life gets messy. And that's kind of how the inspiration for all these songs came from, conversations about life and what was going on.
However, the root cause of the problem was not yet healed. It was somehow buried somewhere in his subconscious mind.
I've always had these kind of this depressive side.
Just waiting to take over his mind the moment those haunting memories arrive.
Like everybody and everything, and I don't like doing anything anymore. Like nothing makes me happy.
You know, it's kind of a funny thing. One day we're in the studio and we're working on a song, and Mike was just like, "Do you think you could like just scream like this like thing?" And I was just like, you know, like kind of like, "Rah!" And he was like, "Yeah, can you just do that all the time?" You know what I mean? Like just forever on every song. And I was like, "I guess, yeah." You know?
Now becoming the leading member of Linkin Park was more than a destiny for Chester Bennington. Because while working at a digital service firm, Chester left his birthday party to audition for Linkin Park in California. He was on the verge of giving up his music career. At the same time, Linkin Park founders, including Mike Shinoda, were struggling to catch the attention of any record label company. So they also needed a lead vocalist to save their band.
That was when everything that came out of my mouth, Mike was like, "Harder, harder, sing it harder."
And who could have been better than Chester Bennington? After launching their Hybrid Theory album in the year 2000 and shaking the rock world with songs like Crawling. One Step Closer, and in the end, everything you say to me, one step closer to the I tried so hard and got so far. There was no doubt that Linkin Park was a blessing for the 21st century. The album sold 32 million copies worldwide, was the second best-selling rock album of the 21st century in the UK, and at the 44th Grammy Awards, Crawling Song won the Best Hard Rock Performance. However, behind this enormous success lies deep emotions about Chester's life, the struggle he had to go through to get over the next day. For example, this part of In the End song lyrics, "You kept everything inside and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when."
And one of the things that actually really was very helpful was making this record. It was like being able to get in a room with my friends, you know, talk about what's going on with me, like not being afraid about talking about it like I'm not, you know, like I am right now. And then going into rooms with people that I have no idea and talking about it and listening to them talk about it. And it's like, oh, like, this is kind of cool.
Of course, music was helping Chester to stay alive, but by touching those traumatic memories in the song, he was falling into the same trap he was trying to get out of.
But like clinical depression is something that you actually can't get out of, and you need to be you need to see a doctor, you have to get medicated for it, you need to go to therapy. There's like things that you need to do in order to get out of it, or else you won't.
Unfortunately, according to this therapist who studied Chester's background, the symptoms were exactly the same.
I wanted to talk about long-term impact of sexual abuse on people, what it does to them. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there.
3 years after their first album, Linkin Park dropped the biggest hit of the century. The song Numb crossed 1 billion streams on Spotify and 2.6 billion views on YouTube. Even kids and people who listen to it for the first time today instantly fall in love with Chester's voice.
Well, anyway, the music in this is fantastic, man. It's amazing. I mean, these guys really, that's a great band. The second guy over here on the right.
But what he had to go through to make this song was something no one was aware about. While filming Numb, Chester suffered a mysterious back and stomach pain. The situation was so extreme that they had to pause the shoot and get Chester immediately hospitalized. Neither Chester nor doctors could identify the actual cause of the mysterious pain. But what this therapist pointed out could have been one of the reasons behind that pain. The same therapist who pointed out the long-term impact of sexual abuse during childhood.
You have pain all over your body, somatic.
Fortunately, Chester's second album with Linkin Park buried all the pain he was going through. The Meteora album released legendary songs like Numb, Somewhere I Belong,
ทูบ็อกคัสซังครับผมเอาตรงนี้มาแล้วกับเอาแบบนี้นะ
Faint? From the inside? And breaking the habit. With 16 million copies sold, Meteora was ranked #1 on the Billboard 200. Brought collaboration with Jay-Z.
Animals as much as I love coffee. Looking for a new name, and Chester was sleeping in his car. He was out from Arizona. He didn't have a place to stay yet. And for whatever reason, he didn't decide to stay with me. I think I offered it to him, but he didn't do it. And he stayed near Linkin Park. And he brought it in one day. He was like, what about this name?
Yet while rehearsing and performing live on stage, Chester never opened up about his alcohol addiction. And the bandmates, on the other hand, were hesitant and worried about Chester's health. In one of these interviews, he said, "I lived on alcohol." He also revealed how at one point he was shocked by his wife's statement about his changing behavior. She said, "I don't think there's been a day since I've known you that you haven't drank." Now, Chester refused to accept this statement and called his wife crazy for pointing this out. But if you look at this therapist analysis, it seems he was right about the long-term impact of child sexual abuse.
You deal with levels of depression, guilt, shame, self-blame, eating disorders, somatic concerns, anxiety, dissociative patterns, repression, denial, sexual problems, and relationship problems.
So 2006 was not only the peak of Chester's career, but also the peak of his alcohol addiction. The band members were back in the studio to release another album, but failed to complete it after holding an intervention for Chester. Mike and others could not see Chester destroying his own career, so they opened up about how they feel. Surprisingly, what the bandmates said in the intervention was something he never imagined. They said that I was two people, Chester and then that guy. I didn't want to be that guy. Fortunately, after this intervention, Chester gave up alcohol for almost a decade, making his comeback with their third album, Minutes to Midnight. Though he encountered a few relapses, the intervention was worth holding for. But no one imagined that the person he was about to meet next was going to reignite the haunting memories of his childhood.
I'm a huge fan of Chris, and to be able to do this is like, we're blessed, you know. And and it's like when people feel that way, when all the musicians on a tour feel like this is really an opportunity, and it's like we're probably not gonna be able to do this again.
After meeting Chris Cornell in a 2008 concert, Chester could not be more blessed. Because he grew up listening to Soundgarden songs, a rock band that pioneered the concept of grunge music in the 1980s, an alternative rock genre that smoothly blends punk rock and heavy metal. And Chris Cornell was the co-founder of Soundgarden.
Son, won't you come, wash away.
So you can imagine how Chester would have felt when he performed with one of his idols. But apart from all the inspiration Chester received, there was something else that brought him closer to Chris than any other member of Linkin Park. And the reason behind this was, just like Chester, Chris's parents also divorced during his teenage period.
That it's a issue, but that's kind of cloudy. I mean, I have other friends that were extremely talented musicians that died in other ways.
Chris also suffered from severe depression and consumed alcohol daily from age 12. As he was also looking for an escape, he credited his mother for saving his life when she gifted him a snare drum. Maybe this is why Chester said this after meeting Chris. Sometimes you meet someone and it feels like you've known each other forever. And the more he got closer to Chris, the more he felt like he found a lost brother. Chester also became the godfather of Cornell's son.
You're living in that moment, you're being present with the fact that like, this is a really special thing we get to do.
But then,
in light of our dear friend Chris Cornell passing away, we decided to play our song One More Light in honor of him. to start this off. We love you, Chris.
On May 18, 2017, Chris committed in MGM Detroit hotel room, and the pain of losing him was unbearable for Chester. You can see the look on his face how he was trying his best to stay normal during this performance. Trying to hold his emotions while performing at Jimmy Kimmel's show. To express his pain, Chester also published this emotional post on his Instagram page, which is still live on his account. Dear Chris, you've inspired me in many ways you could never have known. Your voice was joy and pain, anger and forgiveness, love and headache all wrapped up into one. I suppose that's what we all are. I can't imagine a world without you in it. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it. Maybe Chester got more connected with Chris than any of Chris's family members. But no one, including Mike, imagined that Chester would prove his love to Chris by taking his own life.
911, what's your emergency?
And his housekeeper came out and said that he unfortunately killed himself.
On July 20th, 2017, Chester committed at his home in California. Although no suicide note was found, the toxicology report traced alcohol in his system. The police also found a small amount of beer in Chester's room. This concludes the video that was recorded 36 hours before his death.
What do you guys have?
Just chocolate pudding or canned dog food.
In this video, they were consuming canned dog food to have some fun. But you can see that Chester was highly drunk during this time.
3, 2, 1, go.
While others reacted normally when the taste buds hit their mouth. Turns out Chester's behavior was falling under the same warning signs that was shown while interviewing his wife.
We're going to put some of those warning signs, I think, on the screen. Feeling hopeless, like a burden to others, depression, anxiety, lack of interest, withdrawing, easily angered or agitated, increased drinking or substance use.
Did you doubt at any time that, like, oh, now Chester's gone, maybe I don't want to do music anymore? Was there any of that?
Yeah.
No.
Of course. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's like, for me, it just felt like too much.
After losing Chester, it was really hard for Mike to continue forward with the band. Because if we rewind back to the late 1990s, Chester was the one who supported Mike in his most difficult period. During that time, A&R record label did not like the combination of hip-hop and rock style, so they wanted Chester to fire Mike Shinoda. Yet Chester stood by Mike and refused to compromise with the future of Linkin Park.
Like to get back on it and try and do some version of music and also be seen through the lens of what had happened.
Yeah.
Like for that to be attached. It was like being a member of a club that I didn't want to join.
Fortunately, the legacy of Chester still prevails.
I want you guys to sing it so loud that Chester can hear you. Are you ready to do that?
If Chester was alive today, he may have his own tattoo company.
What's up, everyone? This is Chester from Linkin Park, Club Tattoo, and of course, Gray Days, and I'm happy to announce
Club Tattoo anniversary party that we're going to be throwing.
Or could have released a song that definitely would break all records. But some mysterious questions still remain. Why did he commit suicide on Chris Cornell's birthday? Why one of the bandmates made the pyramid sign?
We saw brilliance when the world...
And what was Chester thinking a minute before his death?